Hi, welcome back to Kpop Talks. I'm your host, and today I'm gonna do our weekly K-pop recap of the latest comebacks, which is gonna cater specifically mainly to the last 7 days of March and the first 7 days of April. I couldn't do it in March. I wasn't really, I didn't have time. I wasn't really, I was sleeping really late and stuff like that. But now I can do it, and hopefully I can drop it towards tomorrow, so I can give you this video, because we have a lot of music to go through, and I don't want to waste too much time with the intro. Again, if you just get into the video, leave a like, subscribe. So this will mean a lot to me, and actually will allow me to understand if you really enjoy the product or not. But let's get right into it. The first artists are Homies with Broken Ferrari. I'm notorious, if you look at the past videos, somebody was criticized a lot Homies, because I felt like they weren't really bringing anything interesting to the Korean hip-hop scene. But this song is a little bit better. I like the fast-paced production. I like the aggressive rapping from all the members. Yes, again, it's not the most original song ever, but at least for them, I think it's, for me, a step towards the right direction to make more enjoyable music for myself, and at least it's aggressive style, and I think it fits them more than the more like melodic sad trap they were going for. Next we have Solar from Momo with Honey. Not the biggest fan of this track personally. I feel like the style of production and self-song she went towards, it's not bad or anything. Obviously she's a good singer and all of that, but I think she could have done a little bit better. I just don't think it really fits her as much. I assume partially the company thought to somewhat give her a similar vibe to Wasa, which from a logical standpoint maybe makes sense but to them, but I don't think it makes sense at all. It's not bad, but I think it's uninteresting for an artist like Solar, in my opinion. Next we have We with Too Bad. Not a bad track. It's fun, upbeat. The production is kind of fun. The lyrics are fun. It reminds me of some sort of NCT Dream really early on, but being very different. Even maybe early Golden Child. Golden Child, or some of these groups before they transitioned to make the cooler styles of music that normally sold better. It's a fresh air, and says that they're doing what they want, and the song is fun, it's cute, and it's a good song. Next we have Red Museum with Offline featuring Dean and Lehigh. I don't know who this Red Museum is. I've never heard of him, but I got Dean and Lehigh on the same track, which is crazy. Dean hasn't been making music regularly in some time, so that means he's somebody that they definitely respect and he has a good relationship with. The song is fun. I like the production. I like both features. I would say Red Museum is the worst part, but he's still good. So the features really shine. He doesn't shine as much, but overall the song doesn't really get hurt by his performance. So yeah, it's good. It's definitely a song that I wouldn't mind listening to if I had it on my playlist, definitely. Next we have Stray Kids with Maniac. I feel like out of all the tracks they've released, because there is a lot of MVs and we're going to talk about them later, this is my favorite. Feel production wise, aesthetically, lyrics, the rapping. Again, they're not doing anything revolutionary or different from their style, but this is good. I feel it fits them very, very well, and I think it's a good single to, introduce your audience to the EP, which, has a similar vibe, which I think it's a good thing. Next we have Itsy with Voltage. This is their first, I think, Japanese single they released, if I'm not wrong. I think it's original song, and it's good. Fun production, good lyrics, not the best vocals from certain members, which I don't think they're the best vocals. I think this team, if something they truly lack, is vocals, but everything else is so good it doesn't matter. I would say they're making something different, but still true to their colors, which is good. It doesn't annihilate their Korean fan base, and if you're a Japanese fan and maybe you wanted something different from the Japanese single, you still got it. So it's Mars from JYP. Next we have Gravity with Adrenaline. It's good. Reminds me of some sort of very early 17, with the outfits and the style and the music and how funny the music videos is and everything. So song itself is good. I've been enjoying a lot of Gravity in the past really 2 years. I don't see how they're gonna really change. They debuted in 2020, right? I don't want to say something stupid. Let me check. They debuted in 2020, yes, late 2020 or half 2020, and I've been enjoying the music ever since. Definitely they needed to grow on me a little bit, but they obviously had talent from the start. The company gives them a lot of different concepts to really go with, and you can't really blame them too much. The song is good, the song is fun, very 17ish early in their career, which is a good thing in my opinion, because that's, I would say, still my favorite era of 17. Red Velvet, Feel My Rhythm, probably the best K-pop song of the year. Great vocals, great lyrics, incredible performances by everybody, and on top of that, it's a good fusion of the Red and the Velvet side. And again, Red Velvet shows why their group and they have the best producers in the game. You know, the fact that they're able to always sound and do something different but still sound like a Red Velvet track, to me, is extremely impressive. Compared to Itsy, for example, the vocals here are tremendous. Not only from Sulgi, but obviously Joy is very good, Wendy's fantastic, and Yeti does pretty well. Everybody does amazing. Great song. The visuals are fun, very Red Velvet-ish, with like animals and the fruits and kind of like this very fantasy world, which is kind of surreal as well. Killing the game, and I don't care about numbers. I don't even know how many views this song has. It has 30 million views. It's better than IVE, who has 20 million more. It's just a fact. You can enjoy IVE's song better, which I'm going to talk about later, but this song is amazing. I haven't heard the album yet, but I mean, we're talking about Red Velvet. In my opinion, the group with the best discography of all time. Probably with Big Bang up there, but again, unstoppable force. Next, we have Highlight with Daydream. Not a bad song, but I felt a little bit... I was disappointed. I felt like something was missing. It felt like this was more of like a necessity to remind their fans that they're still there. And also because one of the members had a scandal that was related to joining the guys to be One Night 2 Days, so now they're back after years. Post-pandemic, because since they're a touring group regardless, so I think that's good for them. I expect something more, because Yogzop had a great year last year in my opinion, so I expected something more interesting from them, but again, they went with a safer route, which is understandable. You know, they want to have the certified good songs, so the fans are gonna like it and buy the albums and tour. You know, I don't even hate them for that, honestly. Very with Oh. I think this is a song where, you know, they show you how younger generation groups and, you know, newer groups, fourth generation groups can definitely, you know, be still interesting and different without really reinventing anything. They're just using stuff that already exists and do it good. You know, obviously Very is one of these groups that it's one of the last fourth generation groups, and the fact that not only they've evolved and done different styles, but in this case, for example, this song is somewhat edgy, somewhat elegant, somewhat sexy. You know, but it's done in a way where it doesn't feel like it's over the top. Even the edginess is never too much. The lyrics as well, I think, do a good job of never going, at least for me, over the top. So, song is fun. Production, I think, serviceable for what they were doing. I enjoyed it. You know, again, Very is one of these groups I think you should always go over, over the single. The single should be an introduction to their albums, which I always think they're really interesting, and at least they have really good songs in them, in my opinion. Next we have T1419 with Elderways. It's a boring ballad. I'm really disappointed. You know, I expected at least something different, but you know, they wanted to probably cut like the stuff they were doing and try something different. I think that's fine, but you can do it in a way where you still bring in something interesting, and they didn't do it at all. Bad. One of the worst songs I think I've heard in the last 15-17 days. Next we have Meanwhile featuring 10cm with Tea Time. Pretty good. I think the vocals, they really fit well with each other. You know, there isn't a clear like exaggerate different of tone, but the tones are different. They complement each other very well. They really intertwine with each other very well as vocals. The song is good. It's fun to listen to. Not the best thing she's released, but I mean, if you want to do a ballad, I think compared to T1419, this is definitely better. Mark Twain Lonely, I think out of the tracks he released, this is the worst. The least interesting, the least inventive, and the least honest. Also, his vocals here leave something to desire, in my opinion. Not good. And next we have Cinema with Moby Dick, some sort of like K-pop / alternative rock group. I feel like they might have some potential, but I don't think the song really showcases it, in my opinion, because the vocals are not it. Even though the lyrics I think are good, and they're somewhat different from what you hear normally. And the production overall I think isn't really enjoyable, for me at least. You know, I'm not a rock connoisseur or anything like that, but I think it works relatively well. I could have hoped something a little bit better, but you know, I've heard another song which I didn't include because I didn't feel like there was a lot to say, where I felt like it was better. So, you know, definitely gonna get into some of their project and see how they are, because it could be interesting. Now, I don't know if they're a rookie group or be one of these groups that I never learned of, but you know, the song is acceptable at least. You know, it's not a bad one. Stray Kid with Freeze. This is one of the ones I like the least. the song doesn't really go anywhere, and then there's just a random what do you call it, kind of like a Skrillex type of drop and chorus for no reason, kind of like a dubstepy, super heavy bass type of like chorus for no reason. The song itself is very standard Stray Kids. This is what I like to call a useless track by Stray Kids, where a song that they just had to put there to make sure they had an EP. Basic structure the same way. Felix does this thing, the vocals say this thing, the other rapper does this, Yunjin acts like a fucking god, and Edge is fuck, and then there's a huge drop, and the song repeats, and then it ends. Wish something a little bit different at this point. It's been 4 fucking years, but again, I don't expect it all the time. But the video is very good, like all Stray Kids videos. In fact, I would say that's where most of their budgets go towards, because they pretty much produce their own music. So YG doesn't care about actually having to pay any sort of producers, right? Then you have Stray Kids with Lonely. So I said I want something different, and they do this, but they don't do it good because the production is just not it. Again, the vocals are fantastic, whatever, but the production is not it, and they went with a safe kind of like ballad, a little bit on the edgier side of things, and the lyrics are somewhat corny, specifically from the rap line, I think. But yeah, then we have Red Velvet again with the Japanese song. Release White South, very different from their stuff before, like Cookie Jar and the other one I can't think of the name right now, but it's a little bit different, more aggressive, a little bit more of the in the velvety side. It's good. It's not like overly edgy or anything like that, but it's a kind of a breath of fresh air if you're a Japanese fan and you've been listening to a lot of the Japanese releases. So they did a very good job of balancing it out and not being over the top. I feel like Red Velvet is very good at doing that, and at this point they're a veteran group since they debuted in 2014. This is their 8th year, guys. So yeah, 8 years, 8 fucking years. It's mental. Like, these people are like my age or older, and they've achieved immense things. So you always have to respect people like this, and they've done it, being true to who the group is and their colors. That's why I always said that Red Velvet for me is the spiritual successor of somebody like FX, more than Girls' Generation, for example. D-Crunch, Addiction, boring, uninteresting, just whatever. I don't care about it. Next, Tama with Hoo Hoo. A good song, good vocals, a little bit different from what Tama's been releasing in the last couple of months, 6 to 8 months, in my opinion. This is a little bit different, still true to his style, which is R&B, and I think undeniably a good track, at least from an objective standpoint. I'm not gonna listen to it anymore probably, but it's a good track. Next we have Lil Cherry, Catwalk featuring Rico Nasty, the great Rico Nasty. I reviewed a Lil Cherry song, I think in January. It's very different from this, aggressive, arrogant, sassy, sexy. The lyrics are whatever they are, but the production is fire. Very high BPM, very high pace, and Rico gives a good feature. You're not gonna get the most lyrical things ever, but it just makes you feel like, strong, and if you're a woman, it probably is gonna empower you in some ways. The song though is good, and Lil Cherry showed me some, range, which I didn't think she had because I didn't know her before, like 3 months ago. Stray Kids, Venom, a little bit better than, in my opinion, than the other one. I can't think of the name. It's not Manik, it's the other one. Talked about like a second ago. Let me check. Freeze. Yeah, it's better than Freeze. 100% it's better. It's not better than Maniac, so Maniac is still my favorite out of the ones I've reviewed till now. Be Gone featuring JB, Windy Day. I don't think Be Gone's vocals are good here. The production is very boring, classic stupid rock shit that they do. Kind of like emo, a little bit of emo, pop punk. Not done in a good way in my opinion. JB though saves the track a little bit, but I still think the song is not good. Sorry. Crazy Boy featuring Jackson Wang. Crazy Boy, also known as Chris Brown. He tries to do a Chris Brown impression. He does it well. Definitely better than J Park because he's just a better singer. And Jackson gives a good feature, so I have no complaint. I think this is a good song overall. If you like Chris Brown, you will love this. Amber with Lately. This is a great song. Barely no production, just a guitar and great vocals and heartfelt lyrics. Obviously these songs are just referred to solely, but reading from the comments also refers to, all another friend that passed away when she used to be a trainee, right? I don't think this song just talks about it. I think this song just all the people that you lose in your life that only lose them through death. Sometimes you lose them because they go somewhere else, and it's interesting because you realize the older you get, the less time you tend to spend with your friends. And it doesn't mean you hate them or you don't love them, but everybody has a life, and everybody's at least to do it to get to where they want to get. In the meantime, when you get to this road and try to get to that place, you might lose friends in the middle, and it's gonna hurt like crazy, but you have to keep going. And I think the MV is perfect. I could have come with a better idea, in my opinion. She's sitting at a table drinking this tea, and then there's a chair in front of her, but there's nobody sitting there, and there's the cameras you're looking, and I think that's beautiful, powerful, beautiful song. I think this is where Amber's strength truly is, and I used to believe that even when she released Beautiful in 2016 or 2015, whenever she released their EP, I thought the best songs were the sad songs. Amber just has a great way, I think, to really touch your soul with, her life experiences. I think she doesn't probably believe that herself, but I think this is one of the best releases. I don't know how many views this one has. It has 40k. I think that's, for her, I think that's really good, and I think it should have at least 100, but even 1 million maybe. But, Amber does not conform, towards standards of Korean beauty. And it's funny that I say that, but it's true. I think that with time, K-pop fans, especially Western fans, they want an idol to look a specific way, and I think that hurt Amber's career. I think way more, like she was way more successful when K-pop was way smaller. You have to ask yourself why. Major salute, like the other major song I want to talk about in a minute, it's just boring. That's what it is. It's just boring, really. But it's not a bad song. I think it's still fun. I still think it's catchy as hell. NCT with Dream with Glitch Mode. Just rebrand them to NCT 127 or NCT whatever. Like, they're not what they used to be. It's a very good song. I think it's fun. It's a great chorus. But what is the dreaming aspect of this group anymore? Obviously the only reason why they're keeping these members is because they are very popular and they've sold 1 million records last year, which is insane. Dream was supposed to be about the youth and stuff like that. There's none of that anymore. So it seems like, again, Lee Soo-man, once before retirement, in the future, like, still kind of chickened out from an idea he had, which is graduation. I'm a firm believer he wanted to introduce that shit years ago, but he understands he can't do it. People are gonna kill him for it. Oh my god, with Real Love. When I heard this song the first time, I wasn't really a huge fan of it, but I think it grew on me. Good production, good vocals, pretty solid lyrics, and Oh My Girl has had a resurgence in their career since they changed their style. Again, a common trend in K-pop. You change your style, you make more of a mature style. Your only member used to say that she loves dressing in a specific way, and you make her more feminine. Again, similar to discussion made about Amber, the only tomboy you had in your group, you pretty much changed them to make more money. And it has worked. Because I think Mimi has gotten way more popular than she ever was. The group has somewhat lost their original identity, but they haven't stopped making good music. It's just that, to me, if it wasn't Oh My Girl, it could have been any other group who had this style. But again, they do it well, so I can't even be a hater if I wanted to. And similar to Amber, hates, somebody that people have completely forgot outside of Korea, which is crazy to me. One of the best voices, if not the best voice, I think, in Korean. Great song, great heartfelt song about her mother, and obviously she had her own issues with a sickness, which obviously she has never disclaimed, which I think it's smart, but she has such a powerful voice. There's these voices, to me at least, that when they hit me, they just never leave me. And I aided somebody that when I listened to the first time in 2016, You Clouds of Rain. It's one of the greatest K-pop songs of all time, in my opinion. You have to have it in the top 50. And AIDS deserves more love, but she's not going with the trend, so she's not gonna kill it in that sense. But she kills the drama world with her OSTs. Pretty G, it's cute. I can't front it's cute, it's fun, but I'm not gonna really go back to it, unfortunately. Good follow-up by Purple Kiss with Me Me. It's a good follow-up to Zombie. The chorus literally works the same way, in a certain way, but it's different. The production is fun. They haven't really changed their concept, or they're not really trying to sell a different version of who they are, but at the same time they do something a little bit different without really losing their true selves and their true aesthetic. So respect in that sense. Respect also, I would say, goes to the company who, after the success of Zombie, they didn't try to like cater to a specific sound. They keep doing whatever they want and it works. And the song is great, love it. So we have Bay 173 with Jaws. I confused it before because I already reviewed it, but I made a mistake. I confused it with Nine Eyes Parallel Universe, and I said it sounded like a BTS song. Wrong. This sounds more like a Monsta X track. It's not copycatting like rap style and stuff like that. They just copycat the concept and certain transitional moments, and even like the fact that they're on a fucking rooftop with, you know, similar to the, you know, legendary music video of Monsta X Hero, that it was done in LA. Here it's done in Korea, but you know, the choreography is good, the guys are good. I mean, I can't really complain. It's just that, you know, I wish they were a little bit more original, which is a problem another group that I'm going to talk about right now has. And that group is 9i with Parallel Universe. So these songs to me sounds too much like production, the chorus, the progression, the bridge. It sounds too much like a TXT song. I don't think it's good for your debut groups to sound like a motherfucking, like, already mainstream group. It's not good. It's gonna put a huge target on their back, and that's not good. Again, the song is well done, but you just copied another groups. I can't give you too much credit. Unfortunately, it is the way it is. And this is the last song of March, which is the other major song, which is Giddy Up. I enjoyed this a little bit better than the other one, but again, it's the same thing. Solid production, solid singing, solid chorus, solid lyrics. It's just catchy as hell. And that's it. And this was it for the first part of March. Obviously, it was going to be followed by April, but I wanted to talk about March, and I felt like March as a month was good. You know, there was a lot of highlights. I just feel like it wasn't consistent at all. I mean, compared to January, I think we had a really strong start. February was okay. March was overall a good month. But you could go legit like it happened in the mid part of March where nothing interesting came out apart from Red Velvet and Ive. You know, so we're talking about like 15 days of nothing. You know, I've heard everything, hip-hop, K-pop, rock, and ballads, and nothing interesting came out. So that wasn't good. Closed pretty strongly, and I know I'm going to talk about it like in a second. April already was a little bit better, at least in terms of consistency, not in terms of quality, which is, I think, overall a good thing.